Hey guys, welcome to Driveway Liberty Podcast, the only podcast recorded live in a driveway. So I forgot to start the audio recording as well. See, we take a week off, man, and I just screw everything up. I mean, it's just terrible. So I am your Uncle Wes. I'm sitting here with my good friends Travis and Dan in the driveway after a week off from last week. A lot of people reached out to us and asked how we were doing. We're trying not to get black-pilled on a lot of stuff, and we'll get into that in a little more detail in just a minute. So I do want to introduce my co-hosts, my friends, my compadres, my buddies, my partners in crime, Travis Horn and Dan Matachacho.
Hello.
I feel like I'm at a home softball game.
Happy 3-year anniversary
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
to the extra 30 days to slow the spread.
nice.
Right.
That was today, 3 years ago.
I had some quality jokes, man, back in the day. I saw my memories on Facebook this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it was top notch.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good crowds.
I mean, it's obviously not applicable today,
Right.
but you know, at the time it was pretty funny. You know, it was toilet paper jokes and stay away from me jokes, which I'm still keen on. You know.
Look, I gotta be honest. Like the whole toilet paper thing, I just happened right before. Because Brooklyn was supposed to have a volleyball tournament in Biloxi.
Right.
Tournament got canceled, but Biloxi was still open, so we still went. We had a great time that weekend. It was awesome.
I bet.
It was freaking phenomenal. And but I, like the Thursday before we left, I had randomly, we needed toilet paper, and I just happened to buy the bigger pack than I normally do.
Right.
So everybody's freaking out about toilet paper, and I just looked at the women folks at the house, was like,
We good.
like, all right, like we won't be ordering Mexican out or anything, but
Right.
like,
You're not going to tempt fate.
yeah,
Right.
right. Like we ain't having Taco Tuesday or anything around here, but we good for a little bit, y'all. Everybody just chill out.
Yep. Yeah. Don't freak out on the TP, man. I one of my memes was my bidet just got here today, and it was a picture of a little mermaid doing this. It was pretty funny.
I guess you had to see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're on camera. I did it.
Yeah.
That's the visual right there, man. All right, we want to thank everybody in advance for sharing the broadcast. Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I have some very good news.
Okay.
Went to the cardiologist today, and I haven't been feeling great for like the past 3 weeks or so.
Oh, that's probably all the drinking we've
And
had.
I'm thinking, no, I was going in there thinking they changed my medication and stuff. And I was going in there thinking I was going to get some bad news, like this is how it progresses and we're getting to the next stage, blah, blah. That's what my mind went to.
Right.
And I had one of those echocardiogram, sonogram type things where they measure your ejection fraction. And
I thought you said something else for there.
my ejection, not erection. And my ejection fraction is almost back to normal.
Oh, cool.
So my
Normal for you or normal for a normal person?
normal for a normal person. Like normal's 55, mine's at 50%.
Okay.
Nice.
And it was at 30%.
Well, that's
Hell
good to
yeah.
hear.
So
Congrats
they're
on
cutting
that.
back on medication. So it's like apparently the drinking and partying has improved my heart health. I've literally changed nothing.
Right.
And he said the reason you're feeling bad is because of the change in your medication. So we can cut
See,
all that
I
back
think
and
you got that
back to normal.
good checkup and started feeling better because for the first time in a while, you showed up with the bottle of whiskey when we were hanging out eating crawfish.
Nice.
That may have had something to do with it.
And
But
I think that was, that was
that
the
was-
good Lord's way of
that was
saying,
good times.
it's about damn time, Dan.
You contribute, and then you will be blessed.
You'll be
Exactly.
richly rewarded.
Right, yes.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, hey, John Nash, how you doing, buddy? Appreciate you chiming in and hanging out with us tonight. So, man, it's been a week. It's a lot to talk about.
In a couple of weeks.
Yes, that's true. That's a good point.
There's a lot to talk about, but pretty much everything happened starting Monday. that
Right?
we can talk about.
Yeah. Exactly. So, man, what do we want to talk about first?
We might as well just dive into it.
All right. So, what do we want to talk about first?
The execution of
Christian children.
Yep.
Man, that's just, for one. So I have a friend, and y'all know her. She actually took our pictures. One of the children that was slaughtered by this mentally deranged individual was one of her clients. Before she quit actually taking pictures for a living, and she had taken that family's pictures like 3 or 4 times. Every time they come to the beach, they would call her, and she would go take pictures. So she got to know the family pretty good. So she's pretty broken up, and obviously, usually when something like this happens, majority of the people in the country, they're not close to this scenario. So I have to admit, it makes you think about things a little bit differently, because by the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, there's a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, talking to her and her husband this week, she's literally distraught and broken up over it. It's a sad thing, and a lot of times people get caught up in the gun grabbing or the defending of the Second Amendment like they should, and we often forget about the lives that are impacted by this stuff. So I want to say that my heart and prayers and thoughts, and you can chastise me all you want to for that, but they absolutely go out to those families of the ones that are lost. But there's a lot of sketchy crap going on around this.
The level of stupid.
Well, let's start. Our thoughts and prayers go out. But shout out to the Metro Nashville Police Department.
Yeah.
They did it right.
I think I sent you guys the body cam footage.
Yeah.
I mean, like that was.
That's how you do it.
That was precision.
You go in there, you communicate, you track the person down, and eliminate the threat.
You take care of business.
You had 2 shooters, one from 2 different angles, and shit was done quick.
Yeah.
And with no chance of anybody else getting hurt.
Yeah. No. So.
And how many people would have been killed if
they
didn't do that?
Yeah.
Because this person
telling.
was hell bent.
Absolutely no telling.
They like when you saw the security footage, this person was going room to room, trying every door, just looking for the next person to shoot.
Yeah.
And I think they got her on the 2nd floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a perch and there was some shots fired at police coming from. But I mean, as far as response time, and I mean, like that was so great job, Metro Nashville Police.
Yep.
I mean that
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's getting in and taking care of business and saving lives is exactly what they did.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And maybe this sounds a little morbid, but I was watching that video. I kind of got pumped up. I was like, "Yo, like that's how you do it."
Yeah.
Like,
right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So there's multiple idiotic narratives out there that, depending on which side of the issue you're on, they're spinning narratives. So the first narrative is the media and some of the LGBT community is sending out the narrative that if the Nashville state government didn't pass the limit on the gender.
That's
Hold
what.
on, let me finish. I know how you feel about it because I feel the same way. But they're saying that if you should be angry with the Nashville state government because they created legislation that hurt this already.
The state of Tennessee
already did, and
the law didn't affect the 28.
Didn't affect this person at all. So the answer to that is, well, why didn't you go shoot up the state legislature there? Because guess what? They got fucking guns.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't do it, because you're a coward.
They're well protected.
And that narrative is complete idiocy.
Well, the funny thing about the narrative is initially the Rainbow Coalition, well, sorry, Jesse Jackson, the LGBTQ Rainbow Jihad tried to denounce that. They tried to separate that. Well, this is not like Transgender Act. But now they've adopted it, and you almost have to question I hate to say this because I know some people passed and were hurt, but you got to question some of the details about this. And was it? It's obviously not a false flag. I'm not going to say that, but are some of the details false flags? And I'm just being conspiratorial here. I'm not pointing fingers.
Well, I don't know. Could it be just another where you've...
Wait. I love a good conspiracy as much as anybody, but this is like the 4th or 5th time in less than a year that one of these Rainbow Jihad has pulled off a mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So either there's a lot of them, or, I mean, and look, I get it. Like, I don't believe everything I see, but they are. I think back to the marriage debate, and like, oh well, they just want visitation rights at the hospital like
right.
everybody else, and we're now to the point where if you push back against these people, they're telling you, because what these folks are saying, though, the narrative is if you don't let us chop little kids' breasts off, we're going to murder people.
Yeah.
We're going to murder innocent children.
That's exactly what they're saying. That's where I was going with what, but I was trying to be.
Well,
I didn't want to get Alex Jones.
So the first narrative is it's the state of Tennessee's fault for passing legislation that negatively impacts the deranged version of their world they live in, where they can't fuck up kids.
Right.
The next narrative is it's the Christians' fault because their ideology harms this group, so it's their fault that somebody from this group acts out.
I see. The thing is in my mind, what's harming this group, these poor kids who are confused, or adults for that matter, is the people trying to normalize it without actually getting them help. It is not normal to want to chop off a part of your own body or to support a child that says they want to do that. That is not normal. And I refuse to accept that as a normality.
Well, if you don't accept it, they're going to come into your school or church or wherever the next place is, and they're going to kill you.
Well, next time I'm singing Just As I Am, I'll be packing, I assure you.
Yeah, well,
what?
The problem, it's a societal problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you're saying. But if somebody wanted to chop off their left hand because they have some kind of issue with it, we as a society would be like, you can't just do that. However, if you feel like your gender's off, you can do whatever you want to. We have 0 long-term studies on what these drugs do to children.
Well, because this is part of the destruction of Western society, the devolving of morality, the Judeo-Christian morality. They're trying to undo it.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to call her name, but the breakfast that I go to or try to go to every week, we were talking a little bit about it before we got on air. But one of the girls in that breakfast, and I'm not going to mention her name because I don't know if she'd appreciate that, but she brought up what I thought was a very, very good theory about that. And it's the fact that these are the climate changers that think that the human race is an infestation on the earth and they've got to change the earth. Well, how do they do that? Well, they do that by forcing all of these green energy policies, and then they also force it by minimizing reproduction.
Well,
and the way you do that is say, you know what, it's cool if you sleep with the same gender, or you just screw up your reproductive organs so bad that you can't reproduce.
No, it's the Malthusian ethics.
Or they take advantage of a pandemic and give you a fucking shot that screws up.
It's the sterilization of a species is what it is.
Jesse Kelly will say that they're all the same. Like the climate change folks, the Rainbow Jihad, like whatever the racism folks, that they're all the same and they're all fighting for the same goal. Right, it's just the different factions. Right, it's like you got the same team, and this one's the offensive line, and that's the receivers, and that's the quarterbacks.
I don't disagree with that.
It's all the same stuff because no one that's freaked out about climate change isn't also on board with systemic. Like, okay, we live in a systemically racist country. and that person that's freaked out about climate change is also on board about trans rights and all this stuff, right? Like, it's all the same, right? They may have their focus, but it's the same team.
Yeah.
And that is, I think we talked about it in one of our kind of evergreen casts, was about the Malthusian ethics, which says that the earth has too many people, we're killing all the resources, all those things. But it is more than anything, my question for where we're at, like, at this point, I believe we live in a post-Christian society. We were founded on Christian ethics. We governed ourselves, not perfectly, but for a while, on a lot of those things, and our laws were founded off of biblical, the biblical morals and those types of things.
Yeah,
and we've gotten so far away from all of that. And this is what we're seeing, is because our society, and to Dan's point, it's a specific going after Western society, Judeo-Christian societies, to destroy them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% that. And then you have this is not a separate narrative, but it's just another reaction to the situation, where they'll say, well, you can't label an entire group based on the actions of an individual.
Yes, I can.
So we've been living in that fucking world on the other end.
They've been doing that to us
forever, yes.
For the last
whether
40,
it's Christians,
50 years.
Whether it's Trump supporters, whether it's, pick one.
Gun owners.
White people, white males.
Right.
Pick one. Like, it makes me nuts, because everything that they say that that is a problem with us, it's actually them. They're doing it, and they're describing themselves.
Well, that's part of the Lansky method.
Well, they're pretty fucking good at it.
They are. They've
been
studying it pretty fucking hard.
They have the media 100% behind them. Because look, if you watch any media coverage from any of the major media networks, except for maybe Fox, the narrative always starts with, in November, Tennessee passed this legislation. Like, that's the
narrative.
That's
Absolutely.
the tagline of describing this story.
Absolutely.
That's a part of this story. So you got the media reaffirming their idiotic reasoning.
No, I don't think they're reaffirming their idiotic reasoning. What I think they're
doing
is
they're
perpetuating.
Well,
they're lighting the fuse.
They're giving everybody a warning. If you fight back against what we want, potentially you will die.
Well,
look, I haven't said it on this podcast in a long time, but Michael Malice says this. What was it? They prefer you dead, but they'll settle for your submission.
Yeah,
that's what they're reaffirming with that narrative there. In November, Tennessee passed this. That's the narrative. Hey, if you don't let us chop little kids' genitals off, we'll kill you. That's the nice way of them going on national television and saying, yeah, you're going to let us do this, or we're going to kill you. I don't know any other way to view it. I mean, because I don't think it's reaffirming a narrative. It's a warning. They're telling you exactly what they're going to do.
Well, they're a jihad. They're freaking join or die.
Yeah.
Or, at the very least, don't do or say anything that doesn't affirm what we're about.
Yeah, you can either sit there and let this happen.
And in the spirit of getting along and being nice, like we were told by our moms,
we've been taken over.
We've been taken over. That's exactly what has happened.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was thinking about this the other day. How many times have we heard silent majority, silent majority, silent majority? And how much of a Bush League weak-ass phrase is that? Wait, so you have the majority and you've chosen to lose because you shut up? Like,
yeah.
What? What's wrong with you? Who in history would have ever had a majority and just chose to stay silent and damn near lose everything? Like, come on. Like, the weakness in our society is and now, like, we talked with Dr. John Ward a few weeks ago, and one of the comments I made, and I thought it was pretty brilliant. I'm sure you guys agreed. But we've started to go pick the right fights. Now we're like 10, 15, 20 years too late, but we've started to pick the right fights. And unfortunately, we've got a toddler who's been allowed to just scream and holler and get whatever they want. And now when you go pick the fight and say, hey, you're not going to pitch this fit, it just gets more and more and more. And it's built up to where now innocent 9-year-olds die because the state of Tennessee doesn't want you to cut kids' genitals off.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is in us supporting rhinos like John McCain's and Eye Patch McCain and all of these soft-ass people who say they're conservative but they're not conservative, we're complicit. We are absolutely complicit.
Absolutely.
But it's like, I had a conversation with my daughter this week. When we mess up, first we've got to admit it and man up or woman up and admit to it, accept responsibility for that mistake. Second thing we need to do is make it right. We need to apologize for it and then move forward headstrong and make it correct. And that is exactly what we need to do. Maria LaSalle says frickin' Jane Fonda calls for killing pro-lifers on The View. They are very bold. It's
because there's literally no repercussions for saying it.
Yeah.
No, nobody's going to call them out, and if they do, they don't get the airtime to where the silent majority can see there are other outspoken individuals out there. That's why podcasts like our little podcast sitting here in the driveway is so absolutely important. Not being arrogant, but we are pretty good, But those voices, if you're a conservative, whether it's us or not, you should be supporting alternative conservative media, because that's the only way you're going to get the messages out.
Well, and go back to and I know we've had this conversation a bunch, and you guys tend to agree with me, but I saw it. Florida passed a school choice bill, and I so many comments around like, oh, maybe now we can get back to teaching 2 + 2 = 4. And I wanted to go under each one of them and just say, I don't want to go back to just teaching 2 + 2 = 4. I want to teach that 2 AR-15s plus 2 tanks equals 4 dead tyrants. That's what our math problem should be.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? If you've got 2 9mm and the government shows up to take them, how many do you have when they leave? Well, I got 2 because they're not taking them.
You got 4 because you took them there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is how we have to get in that mindset. We can't. There is no neutral. There is no like I think last time we podcast, like we're shirts and skins.
Yeah.
There's no halfway between shirts and skins.
No, it's us.
Although there's a couple of chicks I saw on the beach the other day, but it was close. But
right. Oh, man, I can't believe. Well, anyway, you almost had me distracted.
But all no matter which narrative it is, every one of them is to deflect the blame against the person who actually committed the crime.
Oh,
Whether you blame
absolutely.
guns, because that's the other narrative. The
No.
gun, apparently.
Oh, no. They don't think the gunman was wrong in any way, shape, or form.
No.
No, they
They think
support
the state of Tennessee and the people that passed that
It's
are
the state
wrong.
of Tennessee's fault, or it's Christians' fault for demonizing these
Yes.
people.
Look, I'm
or
all for.
it's the Republicans' fault because they haven't banned guns. It's everybody's fault except for the crazy person who actually killed. And I'm going to say this because this is what I 100% believe. I believe 100% that woman went to that school to execute Christians. Period. There may be other mitigating motive details, nuances to it, but that person went there to kill Christian children.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
there's no way
have
to
no
look at
doubt.
it.
But one of the things we've gotten caught up on it, and we've actually been trained on this over the years, is, well, why did they do that? Because when we see something so heinous and so screwed up, we want to know what motivated this individual to do that.
Yeah, because it doesn't register in our brains.
And what they have successfully done on the left is replace motivation for responsibility.
Yeah.
So we really need to say, okay, yes, it is important for us to understand why they did this, so maybe we can prevent it in the future. However, the motivation behind them doing this does not alleviate their own responsibility and their fault. for doing it.
See, here's where I think most people that think like us struggle is that if you get to the why, right, and you actually come up with why this person did that, and you start to take the steps backward of, well, how does this person, who apparently had a pretty decent family background, apparently went to this school, I believe.
She did. She was a student there.
She was 28 years old, so it was a long time.
She was also, I think, a teacher. I think she was also a teacher there.
Right. Okay. So how does that person go from that to a transgender going to execute Christian children? So that we've got the why. Okay.
There was a statement to be made.
Well, now we've got to go back through and, okay, well, how do we prevent going from that to that? And that's the part of that's the part of the equation that I think most people on our side are uncomfortable with.
Yeah, because they don't want to we want to.
Well, it would put you in a position to be to the point where you had no choice but to act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, the thing is we need to stop normalizing certain mental illnesses. I mean, you go back to Clinton. He was a.
I don't even think it's normalizing. I think we got to get back to shaming it.
I don't. If somebody's truly mentally ill, I don't want to shame them for that.
Well, then they should be strongly encouraged, shamed, whatever you want to call it, into going and getting help. Not encouraged to be on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all this nonsense, getting thousands of likes and all making all that money. That's what our society should do. Hey, you clearly have a mental issue. That's fine. We still love you. However, this is not acceptable in our society, so you need to go get help some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And that's probably not a very liberty-minded way, or any type of, but we have to now push it back.
We're at the point now in our society where liberty-minded will not fix the situation.
Yes.
You cannot allow evil to be free to be evil.
Right.
You can't do it.
If somebody is truly sick, and this individual obviously was, and if they are a danger to society and a perceived danger to society, they should be. They don't have Baker Act in Tennessee. That's a Florida thing, but they legit should be Baker Acted.
Yeah, but I wonder how.
Okay, but all right. So now, apparently, there's a lot of these folks in Tennessee. Do they all need to be Baker Acted?
Yeah,
listen,
absolutely.
To me, there's a difference between somebody who's mentally ill and
somebody who's violent,
loses faculties, and does something that they can't control. There's a totally different mentally ill person who knows exactly what the fuck they're doing and does a heinous thing that no normal person would do, but
this girl
they did it knowing the reason why they were doing it.
Did y'all see the text from this girl to her friend the day before?
Yes.
She legit said,
I'm going to die tomorrow.
I'm going to die tomorrow. Well, that friend, at that point, if you called me tonight, Travis, and you said, I'm dying tomorrow. Well,
yeah,
and
I'd go to your house and fucking tie you down.
Either that or I'm calling somebody to help, and we're going to do our best to prevent that. And whatever you might be planning, you're going to step in. But once you call me and you tell me that, I have a responsibility to ensure that you don't hurt yourself or anybody else.
Yeah, and the person that received that text message should go to jail as well. If that person did not alert authorities to, hey, something ain't right. Again, I don't want to say stigmatized,
I don't know that this individual didn't alert authorities.
If we treated the mental issues like actual mental issues, and that's what our society was, that person there would have said, okay, this person has gender dysphoria, something's not right. They just sent me a weird text message. I need to get somebody else involved.
So let me ask you this.
Hold on, let me finish. So that was a phenomenal point. 6:32.
We do need to
hold on, because we're going to be late on beer reviews. Because I want to ask you this: is a jihad terrorist a mentally ill person?
Yeah.
That kills for the sake of their religion.
Yes.
But they know what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I do think that's a mental illness. I mean, they may be cognizant of what they're doing and why they're doing it, but that's not the average human. There's a illness of some sort in there.
You
yes.
do have to.
Yeah, but the soldier who goes into a foreign country and executes people, enemies, isn't an average person either. In their mind, they believe they're the same as the soldier that we believe is doing the right thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to just say
You're
it's mental illness and these people are crazy and we need to take care of them. No, these people are fucking soldiers executing enemies. And their uniform just happens to be orange fucking hair and stupid clothes. That's what I think is happening. There's a touch of some whacked out people, but I think these people are fucking jihad warriors for what they believe. I think it's a religion, and they're fighting for their religion.
You think there's a concerted effort to do that? Is what
absolutely, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's
absolutely.
If you look at all the propaganda from the left and these radical activists, they'll tell you, thousands of trans people are killed in hate crimes every year, and it was 2 in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they are telling these kids and these trans people that they're being targeted. Like, they're being pumped full of this propaganda, and it's only going to last so long, and we got to do beer reviews.
There's more than double transgender mass shooters than there are transgender victims of that have been killed.
So
it's more than double.
Work that into your beer review next time.
Yeah, before we
motherfucker.
Before we go to beer reviews, think about this. So, do you think there's an underground rainbow jihad where they're actually organizing?
I don't think it's underground. I think it's out in the open. So you can go find.
No, I'm talking about like they're actually planning.
I think some of it is organic based on the movement itself.
There's one thing to be reactionaries, based on the propaganda, and then there's one thing to have to have Rainbow Panther meetings,
like a Antifa version of the Rainbow Jihad.
I think Antifa and the Rainbow Jihad are the same thing.
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of scenario.
It is time for beer reviews. Beer reviews. Beer reviews.
All right, guys. Before we get too much more into this deep conversation, we may not even talk about Trump. We thought we were going to end up talking about Trump most of the night. Let's do some beer reviews. Daniel, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Yingling. Let's get on to the fucking conversation. This fucking shit has got me fired up.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll go next. So I was had the in-laws in town over the weekend, and I was out of beer. I'll tell you, one of the good things about Brooklyn getting involved with beach volleyball is she had a little 4-way match with like 3 other schools on the beach at Great Beach. So not only did I have my cooler, there was a couple of resturants right up there that were sponsored, so I'll bring them up. I was like, man, I'll go give you a couple Bloody Marys. Yeah. I was feeling good, and then we went to pizza joint there in Sandestin, not a sponsor, so I won't bring up their names, even though they're really good people. I would support them. But and so then on the way home, I was like, I think I'm out of beers. I drank all of them at the beach. And I don't know why, this one just caught my eye, but it's a good one. I like it. It's the Kona Brewing Company Big Wave Golden Ale.
That's a good beer, man. I've enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's
good stuff.
I don't know what the ABV on it is.
Well, because
4.4, not great.
Because my New Year's resolution to be kinder to Dan, I'm drinking Miller Lite. I've got a better beer review for the audio cast, but right now I'm drinking Miller Lite. So
there you go. All right, so let's talk about the gun control issue. Because that's the...
You're just trying to piss me off.
That's the...
Can I give my opinion first?
Yeah, go ahead.
If the 9-year-olds were armed, would they have been just fine?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Armed and trained.
Armed and trained. Well, of course. The trained is like the understood you there.
Well, I don't know the exact stat, but it's somewhere around 90% of all the mass shootings since like 1998 have been held in gun-free zones.
Yeah.
Have taken place in gun-free zones. It's because it's fish in a barrel. The question, my wife actually...
Not only gun-free zones, but minors, kids, innocent.
People who can't fight back.
Who can't fight back.
my wife called me because we were talking about this earlier, and she's the one who said, "What? Well, if it's the Tennessee legislature's fault, why didn't they just go in and shoot up the Tennessee legislature?"
Well,
the reason
as
is
we
because
mentioned earlier,
they will get fucking killed if they do that.
yeah.
Like they won't even actually kill anyone.
Right.
They won't even get in the building.
Well, again, and we had multiple school board members on, and safety is always a big topic.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this school, like, and again, from what I've read, I don't know much about the school, but a couple of the governor's wife's really good friends work there. My assumption is
They were killed.
The substitute teacher that was there filling in today was one of the people who was killed. Best friends with the governor's wife.
Governor's wife, right. So,
Is that a factor or just a coincidence?
Right. Well, I don't know, but my point is, like, I doubt this is a $4,000 a semester private school.
No, it's a big money.
It's a 25-30 grand.
Like it in
A semester
to me,
situation.
and maybe there are security protocols in place that we just haven't seen. But I know, you know, all of our daughters go to the same school,
Well,
or close to it, and you can't get in that damn place.
I think, well, this person shot through a glass locked door.
Right.
You could. It's on the surveillance video, the security cameras. Shot through a fully paned, typical school glass door.
Right.
Shot through it, went through it, and then went door to door. Most of the doors the person tried were locked.
Right.
Because I think what happened is maybe they had the gunshots and everybody went into their active shooter lockdowns.
Right.
So they barricaded themselves in the door. Because I think the only people who got killed were the people in the hallway.
Well, and I think one of the children that got killed was running to the fire alarm to pull it.
Yes.
And then I think
That person was in the hallway.
I
Yep.
think of the adults, I think I read that 2 of them were running to try to stop or shield kids or get them out of the way,
Right.
something along those lines. I don't know the security protocol there. You know, now that you say that, I remember seeing the door shot in.
Private school, no resource officers.
Right. Now I believe all the private schools in our county have resource officers.
Yeah, but there in Tennessee,
Right.
there's no resource. There was no sheriff off duty or actual sheriff deputy or whoever the law enforcement that does the resource
No,
officers.
and look, I don't know that stops anything from happening or saves anybody's life, but
I don't know if you're if you got a sheriff deputy at your school and somebody shoots through a glass door, and that sheriff deputy is doing the job like the Nashville police did, I fully believe that person could have at least engaged the person.
Yeah,
Sure.
And potentially
and most
lives.
likely saved.
Depending on which
some
side of
amount
the
of
school
lives.
they're at
Right.
and the side of the school,
Well,
etc.
if they were in the school, they were closer than the cops who were, I think, 3 minutes away, something along those lines. 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you at least save those few minutes,
Yes.
right? Because even when the cops
You
got
have the
there, they had
potential
to go
for
through
saving
and go find this
those
person.
lives, yes.
You know, yeah. So, I don't want to be critical of the school or anything, but what I always think about over and over when this type of stuff happens is how is this kind of stuff still going on in schools where there's not a school resource officer or a veteran,
Yeah.
a volunteer team, or you know what I'm saying? Like I know for a fact that multiple churches around here, they always have sheriffs on site.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
B,
there's
but I know there's security teams that are, I don't want to say undercover security teams, but there's dudes packing everywhere
Yeah.
yes.
in
Well-
multiple churches in this part of our
Well,
county.
Florida is the #1 concealed carry per capita in the country,
Hey, Cat.
and now we're big state.
No,
more
I understand,
people,
but what I'm saying is that this is a church-sponsored group of men
Sure.
and or women that are trained, that are and are asked to be part of the informal security team. That every Sunday they're packing
Yeah.
and they're ready and they're there to worship, but they're also there to patrol, keep people
Sure.
safe. So, I mean, to me, that's a good plan. I mean, look,
Sure.
Going back to what you said, like we are seeing an open war on Christianity in this country.
Yeah.
We're seeing an open war on conservatives. We're seeing an open war on parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and basically everywhere. You got to stay packing at all times. That's the country we live in right now.
Well, it's interesting because there was a while where, I didn't always have my
Yeah, I had
firearm
gotten out
on
of
me.
the habit of carrying.
Yeah, I didn't carry. Like when I go to work, I wasn't carrying it at work, and you know, I really didn't carry it much. Now I'm carrying it every.
Well, if you're bending over, and you know, it's not the most comfortable thing to wear. You know, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Especially as a fat guy. I mean, you know, it's not comfortable.
I'm researching freaking concealed carry holsters for fat guys, trying to figure out.
Well, I won't tell anybody what. I mean, I don't have any firearms there.
Well, I mean, we can go to. Maybe we should start a holster company. It's called chubby2a.com.
Yeah, we could do that.
And you could even have like a message board dating site on that website.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
there you
can
go.
shop holsters, or you can
Get you a
maybe
chubby
find a
dude.
date, right?
Yeah, get you a
Yeah.
chubby dude that carries.
Yeah.
Fat guys only.
Right.
All right, so I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but I guess it's this. The Senate is one of the committees is grilling the shit out of Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary.
Yeah.
So there was an exchange between him and Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana.
I love John Kennedy.
I wish we had the video.
Yeah, where he basically asked him what his position is on assault weapons, and Mayorkas said, "I agree with President Joe Biden's position that assault weapons should be banned in the U.S." So then Kennedy responded with, "Okay, so what is an assault weapon?"
Good for him.
And you know what Mayorkas said?
What?
It's an AK-47. And he goes, "Okay, you've pointed to a specific gun, a specific weapon, but what is an assault weapon?" And he said, "Well, I would agree with how it was described in the 1994 assault ban." And he goes, "Okay, what are those?" And he goes, and then sometimes these guys let him out. Like silence is sometimes the best
Oh, absolutely.
answer, but our senators and our people who are asking good questions, because they're on a time limit,
Yeah.
they don't allow for that silence.
Yeah.
So they move on quickly, and he responded by saying, "See, this is the problem. You never answer a question straight." And he goes, "I believe I just did." He goes, "No, you just pointed out to a gun and a set of characteristics that were from 1994 that you don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And you're the fucking head of Homeland Security."
Right. Well, and exactly what is it about the AK-47 that makes it an assault weapon?
Ban an AK-47.
Yeah, please. It's actually
Who the fuck is killing people with an AK-47
It's actually not
besides
Do you own
fucking
an AK?
jihads?
You own an AK?
I do not own an AK.
It's not a great platform.
It's a fucking stupid answer. It's an answer because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you're the one running Homeland Security.
Yep. Which should not even be in a
But
department.
You should feel better because we have a silent majority, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't feel better. I'm pissed off tonight.
Yeah. I feel you, buddy. I feel you. It's just. I mean, it's the same arguments. I mean, it's circular, and they try to come up with new ways to extinguish our arguments, but our arguments are still sound and they're logical. So we should keep repeating them until they fucking understand.
Well, they don't. They don't care.
For one thing, assault is not a noun. It is a descriptor word.
Mm-hmm.
It is an action.
It's a emotional description.
But see that
This is an
that
assault beer
answer-
if I beat Dan's ass with it.
that answer Mayorkas gave, and what we were talking about with the media, it's the exact same answer.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. They want you unarmed so they can kill you
Yes.
Yeah,
when they see fit.
Yeah.
that's
That-
exactly
that is what Mayorkas is saying. Now he can't come out and say that because I don't think we're quite at that point in our society just yet.
But
Well,
that's
we probably
the-
ain't
that's
that far
the-
away.
that's the end
That's
goal.
the point, right? Like why did they purge the military
Well,
of
they-
anybody that wouldn't get a shot? Well, now they know who is going to follow orders. Hey, go kill those 3 dudes sitting there drinking beer in the driveway. We think they're terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay, pow, pow, pow.
Dude, when I got here, there was a white free candy van sitting out here, and when I pulled, I had to run the house and grab another piece of equipment that I left. I pulled out and I looked in the back of that sumbitch to make sure that we weren't about to get pow.
So the motivation of what Mayorkas said, the motivation we were talking about with the media, is the same thing. They want you unarmed so they can kill you for your beliefs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like that's
or
really it.
force you into submission.
Correct. Yeah. There you go.
Well, the only reason they can't forcibly do this, the only reason they have to do coercion, is because we're armed.
Right.
If we were not armed, then we would have no say. Mm-hmm. They would put all these things in place. And if you disagreed, like in 1984, they'd kill you or beat the living shit out of you until you submitted.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the world we would be living in if we surrendered our weapons.
You would go to a re-education camp or be killed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, there's the people like us would be fucking killed immediately because
Sure.
you can't
Yeah.
re-educate.
No, you absolutely can't.
You're not doing it.
Yeah, no.
So it's the people who were read 1984.
Well, it's the silent part of the silent majority that would go to the re-education camps.
Yeah, the ones who may text every
send a Facebook think because they
send a harsh letter
because they watch Sean Hannity and bought Bill O'Reilly's book that they're helping the movement. Mm-hmm. And that's the same people that tell me, well, if such and such wins the primary, you got to vote for him to save America. And I'm like, yeah, you told me that about John McCain and Mitt Romney. That didn't work out real well. Mm-hmm. Just throwing that out there. Hate to keep bringing that point back up, but that's where we're at. You have to do this, save America. Well, like the last 15 times you've told me that.
Yeah.
Hadn't worked out, so maybe we need a new strategy on how to save America instead of just voting for a random person.
You're right.
So I thought this was interesting. I jotted down the actual descriptors of the 1994 federal assault weapons ban. So here they are. Semi-automatic rifles able to accept detachable magazines that has 2 or more of the following: folding or telescoping stock.
Okay.
Pistol grip. So there's your ARs.
That's your ARs right there. Yeah.
Bayonet mount. Who the fuck has a bayonet mount?
I don't know, but I want one.
I
would take one.
Yeah.
If we went to war, then you get one.
I don't need about war. That'd be pretty badass. Like you just show up like, hey man, you gonna see this? And it's got a fucking bayonet on the end of it.
Right.
All y'all be like, yo, that's cool.
Here's the next one. Flash hider or threaded barrel designated to accommodate one.
So a silencer.
Grenade launcher is that. So that's your rifles. That's your, any 2 of those would be banned.
Okay.
Semi-automatic pistols with detachable magazines with 2 or more of the following: magazines that attaches outside the pistol grip, threaded barrel to attach barrel extender, flash suppressor, hand grip, or suppressor, barrel shroud safety feature that prevents burns to the operator, manufactured weight of 50 ounces.
So they want you to get burned.
Yeah. So a safety feature makes it an issue.
And if we're being honest, the suppressor really doesn't do anything except reduce the sound level. I mean, and it's not it's not the movies where it's like.
No. It's still loud. It's just not as loud.
A manufactured weight of 50 ounces or more when the pistol is unloaded. A semi-automatic version of a fully automatic firearm.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
See, I think Biden had dementia long before he became the president. Like, I mean, he was the author of that.
That's
right?
the 1994.
Yeah.
So here's the one for the shotgun. Semi-automatic shotguns with 2 or more of the following: folding or telescoping stock, pistol grip, fixed magazine capacity in excess of 5 rounds, detachable magazine. So the tactical shotguns with the barrel
pistol
load
grips,
and the barrel load, those are if it
out.
doesn't have a collapsible stock, those were legal.
Yeah.
So your Mossberg 500 that has the tactical kind of hard rubber stock that doesn't collapse, those are legal.
Yeah.
That holds 7 rounds.
Yeah, it doesn't make like
it makes no fucking sense.
It's all nonsensical.
Yeah,
it's stupid
because they don't know. They just want something. So they put this bullshit list together.
No, it is a step in the direction where they want to go.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of that, and then the next thing you know, there's going to be another school shooting, or because it's a gun-free fucking zone.
The first part, though, where you have a folding or telescoping stock or a pistol grip, takes care of a significant portion
Of the
firearms, the semi-automatic rifles.
But what I'm saying, it is a step towards where they want to be. It's not where they want to be.
No. Oh, they don't want us to have any of them.
Yeah,
if
they want to be Australia.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Where they can lock you in your fucking house because the government says you should be locked
and send
down.
you a fucking camp. They were sending people to camps
absolutely.
during COVID. Like, fucking camps. They called them camps. Like, you don't agree with it. You're not doing the shit we tell you, and we're going to take you away.
You know what we need to do?
Into a fenced-in fucking area.
We need to schedule
until you learn how to act right.
We need to reach out to one of the gun ranges and schedule a Driveway Liberty podcast shoot day.
Hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just recently heard there's a skeet range in Panama City Beach near the airport at a golf course. Now, if you've never done a skeet trap range, dude, that's fun.
Yeah, I've done it.
You go out and there's like 20 stations, and you've got different stuff.
Yeah, it's like a golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one out in Milton where you get on you got your own little golf cart.
Yeah.
You go. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe we'll plan that, and we'll have a Driveway Liberty podcast. Shooting day, and we'll get price. We'll see if we get great
maybe this
pricing.
fall we can do like the old school Southern Baptist turkey shoot.
Oh yeah.
And if you win the turkey shoot, you get your turkey for Thanksgiving.
Or a gun. It's the way we always did it.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And let me tell you. So here's some of the largest mass shootings in U.S. history that that Firearms Act, Assault Firearms Act in 1994 would not have stopped. The Virginia Tech shooting, where 32 people were killed and 17 people were injured. 2 handguns. One of which had a 10-round magazine, the other a 15-round magazine, in the fucking grip, so they weren't illegal.
Right.
23 people were killed, 20 injured in the Killeen, Texas cafeteria. The cafeteria guy with 2 9mm handguns, 15 and 17-round magazines in the pistol grip, not illegal according to the gun bans. The guy with 2 handguns and a shotgun killed 21 people in McDonald's, San Ysidro McDonald's, and injured another 19. Handguns utilized 13 and 20-round magazines in the pistol grip and a shotgun with 5-round capacity.
Well, that was one of my points. I mean, if you really wanted to go in and murder a large number of people, you're really stupid for walking in with an AR, an AK, or a long rifle.
And you don't need a 30-round magazine, and that's what they freak out about with the ARs with 30-round magazines, because so many people own them. That's why that is the thing they talk about.
Right.
But your handgun that has 10 to 15 rounds in the magazine is one of the most lethal things you could have.
Oh,
and
yeah.
in the
because I can drop and reload a hell of a lot faster.
Depending on how skilled you are, you can do it in 2 to 4 seconds.
Yeah.
To change magazines.
Yep.
How many less people are you going to kill because it takes you 2 to 4 seconds to get a second magazine to equal close to that 30 rounds? You're going to kill the same amount of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it's all evil.
Yeah, the assault ban shit is insane. It's like Wes said, it's incremental.
It is a step towards their destination, and their destination is complete annihilation of individuals owning guns and dissenting opinions.
But there is some tactical.
I think the point of those is not necessarily the outlaw the one that you already have. I think that's part of it. I think you got to think in the long game. They want those types of weapons to stop being made.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, hey, we didn't ban it. They just stopped making them.
And I can tell you, in the assault ban, that 1994 legislation, it exempted government and military.
Of course.
Yep.
So any person who was a part of the government didn't have to abide by that.
Yeah. Be, yeah, because they want you dead, they'll settle for your submission.
Yep.
Like that
Yep.
is. So we got like 3 minutes left. We didn't hit near as many topics as I thought we would.
No, Trump actually led our title tonight, and we didn't get into any Trump. We were actually legitimately going to talk about Trump tonight and not mention him again until the primaries.
I'm sorry, this Tennessee thing fucking pissed me off.
Yeah, no.
Well, that just means everybody's got to tune in the audio cast.
Right?
Yeah, we'll talk about Trump in the audio cast.
So, if you're a huge Trump lover, you may not like the audio cast. I'll just go ahead and tell you that. That's the teaser.
Or maybe you will.
Or maybe you will.
Maybe you will.
Maybe you will. So, we're so thankful for each of you. We are legitimately shadow banned, and this is how I know. Twitter, we have a number of followers. I personally have 1,100 followers. Dan has about 12 or 15 because he keeps getting banned.
Nah, I got like a couple hundred.
I put a really cool promo together, man. It's a reel. It's like 30 seconds, and I put that out there on Twitter. And when I looked at it before I came over here, we had one view, and that was Dan.
Mm-hmm. And I shared it, and I got 0 views.
Way to go, Dan.
So, we want... If you like the cast, you enjoy the cast, the best way you can help us is by sharing it with your friends and family. Obviously listening to it and watching it when we do our live stream. And if you really like the cast, you can go to patreon.com/Driveway Liberty Podcast and you can help support us. We are currently experiencing a handcuffing that we can't get around until we can do this full time.
On multiple issues.
On multiple issues.
Another one's come up.
Yeah. So if you can see it in your heart to go out and support the cast on patreon.com, or if you own a business and would like to sponsor the cast, you can go to thedrivewaylibertypodcast.com/advertise and help support us and uncuff us. Help take the padlocks off our tongues on certain issues. That would be super awesome.
And that's the thing is, those of you who are out there to listen to our live stream, it's pretty much the same group every week. Obviously, if we sucked, you wouldn't listen no matter how much. None of you are, Sunday evening dinner guests. You're not family. We're friends, but we're not super close friends.
Right. Not as close as we'd like to be. Let me say that, because Dan sounded kind of cold right now.
No, my point is, you're not listening.
We don't like any of you, but you listen instead.
No, you people are listening because
that's basically what Dan was saying.
Because you enjoy the content, you enjoy the show, you learn from the show.
Right.
I truly believe that if people could actually see us, this thing would grow massively.
Exponentially.
The issue is, what we're telling you is they are preventing, through their algorithm, people from seeing us. We're on YouTube for this live stream. We're on Facebook for this live stream. All of us have Twitter accounts that are shadow banned. We share this stuff and nobody sees it.
Nobody.
I got a ton of engagement in a Nikki Fried thread.
Yeah,
weird.
When you go and comment on a liberal's thread, you get engagement.
I don't even get that anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, I sent some, even in some folks, I went and made some comments that I thought for sure would get people fired up, and nothing.
So take some of these shows we've done and direct message people that would enjoy this content.
Email them to your friends. Just take a link and email it to your friends and let them know. John Nash, you've been on a cruise with me. You definitely know me. So don't even pretend, boy. Don't even pretend. You're my friend, and whether you like it or not. You're my friend whether you want to be my friend or not.
I'll be honest with you. All my close friends don't watch the show or listen to it, other than the two sitting here that are part of it.
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess if they're close to us, they don't.
But my point is, people aren't listening to the show just because they're friends. It's not like, you're the only people who
listen is your mom.
You, is your fucking relatives.
My mom watches the show like once a month, or listens to it. So, but the thing is it's kind of funny. Like with my music, Like, the people who really support my music aren't my closest friends. These are people I kind of know or halfway know or don't know at all.
Well, they support your music because they enjoy your music.
Yeah. Which, and I get that. Not everybody's going to enjoy that, or not everybody's going to enjoy what we do here in the
But our audio cast gets thousands of downloads a week.
Maybe that's a commentary on how we look.
Oh, not for me.
I don't know.
Need to pick it up.
My heart's back to work in order.
Look, I done lost like 25 pounds. I've been getting on the row machine, like bam. Like I'm gonna be like shirt off in a few weeks.
Yeah, but that's
I'm just
like,
kidding. I'm not actually gonna. But I mean, I might.
We're gonna call it. Travis is gonna freaking have Peloton as one of the sponsors.
Well, it's an echelon row machine,
Oh,
and I absolutely hate that damn thing because it kicks my ass.
It'll do that. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks in advance for sharing this with your friends and family. And, you know, thanks for being a supporter of the cast. Thanks to Kat and John for coming and Maria tonight. For Travis and Dan, I am your Uncle Wes. We will see you next time on the Driveway Liberty Podcast.